My next guest on Chat with Anju Season 2 with young, inspiring women is a very special young lady. For many of you who know her, I'm sure you'll agree that she's an inspiration. Her humility and her discipline in life, I truly admire. Let me welcome my very special guest, my baby, my daughter, Priyanka.
Hi.
Welcome. Yes, I have actually started this season in order to get you on this platform because you have a story and you are very inspiring, and I'm very proud of you. We both are very proud of you. So I want you to share with all my audience your overall story from high school to university until now.
Okay, so I think, I can start with, I started my high school actually in Moscow when we were living in Moscow and Russia. So I had my first year of high school in Moscow and then decided that it was a good decision for me to do boarding school and finish the rest of my high school in the UK to do my IB program. So I moved to ACS in Cobham and I was there in boarding school for about 3 years. Before going to university at Warwick and studying psychology at Warwick. So I was in Warwick for about 3 years and then, following uni, I decided to spend some time and work in London, at least to see what it was like to get a job in London and try out a few different internships before deciding where I really wanted to live and work as well and what industry I wanted to be in. So I think the first year out of university, I did a number of different internships in marketing and advertising. I did, what else did I do? Events and PR. I did a number of different internships. And then I landed my first real job in the area that I am focused on now, which is executive search, which is essentially executive recruitment. When I was in the UK, I was very much focused on executive recruitment within retail and leisure. So working with large grocery retailers through to fashion and retail, through to some of the large consumer goods businesses. So that was my focus in the UK. And then I met my then boyfriend, now husband, around that time and decided to make a transition to do something completely different and move into fitness, with the view that I would hopefully set up my own business in the UK. And then, lots of things in life change. And then I moved out to Australia and did fitness here for a bit of time and then realized that I had a really amazing opportunity to go back into executive search, but this time focused within technology and working with well-funded scale-ups to help them build out their leadership teams and boards. So I jumped at the opportunity and that's what I've been doing for the last about 2.5 years now.
In this new continent, you've never lived there before.
Yeah, all new. A lot of change at once.
Amazing. And if I may ask you, how did you meet your prince? If you don't mind sharing that, because that can be inspiring also. I didn't realize that could be a question, but if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I actually met him on an app called Happen. So it's interesting, but London is such a big place, but it's also very hard to meet people, especially when you're so engrossed in your work. And I suppose I was at the stage where I was ready to meet someone and ready to have something a bit more serious. And I was using the app. I think it's a very, people have different opinions on it, but I think I was very skeptical as well about using an app to meet someone. And I had met a lot of people through the apps and had some good experiences, had some okay experiences. And then I met Unal and I was, very, very lucky that yeah, I never expected that to work and be what it is today at all.
Thank you for sharing that. You spoke about your fitness a bit before, before moving into your in the executive search business. So what about your weight loss journey, the challenges, the discipline, the formula that actually made you reach your fitness goals and maintain so beautifully?
Wow, that's a big question. So I think for me, I went through my own weight loss journey, and I think like my close friends will know this, and people who knew me, during uni would have known this. But I went through the weight loss journey at the end of university. So in my final year of university, I decided that I really needed to do something about my health, and to be really honest, it was really driven by my appearance, purely on like, I felt like I looked overweight, and I think it wasn't just something that was in my mind, but it was something that I was confronted with in different situations, like, and through comments of people, and not just people I didn't know well, but also people very close to me. And I think one of those people was my father. So I think there was this one comment in particular that just put a switch in my brain, and I just said, look, I'm actually tired of this. I want to take control of my own well-being, my health and wellness. And I think it's not just the way I look, but it's so important in different areas of my life that's going to improve my quality of life. And I decided, I didn't even know where to start, actually. So I had tried so many weight loss programs. I'm not going to name them all because I don't want to shame any companies I've tried so many programs and nothing had worked. I would gain 3 kilos, lose 3 kilos and then gain another 5. And absolutely nothing would work until I educated myself on calories and energy balance. So like calories in versus calories out, just simple, just really basic. So I only started with tracking my food. So I actually managed to lose something like almost 30 kilos just through food, just to tracking my food. And I'm not saying that this is the right way to do anything. I made a lot of mistakes through my journey. And I would have done it completely differently if I had to do it again. But that's how because I didn't know any better. I didn't have the right person to guide me. I didn't know who really, I didn't know much about fitness at all. I would probably just go on a treadmill and walk for 30 minutes. I didn't know anything about fitness. And I hated running. I hated all forms of cardio, honestly. So I think for me, I lost all that weight, and I got to a point where I'd actually lost a really significant amount of weight, and I wasn't, and I started to get into training because I was introduced to Barry's boot camp through a friend in 2013, 2014. After I'd lost most of that weight, I had already, I was looking great. I felt really good, but I realized that, this fitness thing sounds really interesting. It looks really fun. So I think it was this whole community vibe of Barry's that got me really excited, and it was really challenging. It was so hard. It was so hard, but then I got pretty much addicted to it. I absolutely loved it. It gave me a lot of energy. I did it before work all the time. Then I started training at the gym, actually learning more about lifting weights, which made me realize that I can do all of this stuff, or I can learn how to do it properly. So I decided I would just do a personal training course just on the side of work, for my own knowledge, just to educate myself on how to do things properly, how to lift weights with the right form. And I think through that journey of becoming a personal trainer, going through the course, and then having the opportunity to cover some fitness classes. So at the local Fitness First and local David Lloyd gyms, I would just sign up for covering classes. So if people would fall sick, I would get a notification on the Facebook group, and then I would just go and cover their class just to get some experience. And then I would have a few comments after that people really enjoyed my class, and I got a few comments that, I loved your class, I loved your playlist, and it just gave me a lot of energy. I got very excited. And I think like I just got more and more excited by it. It made me very, very happy. And then I realized like, you know, life is too short. I want to actually give this a shot and see if I can make some. I always have that, you know, entrepreneurial spirit in me. So the ambition was really to work for a big box gym, get some experience in a small gym as well, operating a gym, and then setting up my own business. So that was always kind of the objective. So I decided to take the leap. Like it took me 7-8 months to really make the decision, but a lot of thought went to it. And then I realized that, you know what, it's not a big deal if I do something. If it doesn't work out, I can always go back, or if I realize that if it works, that's great. You know, it's just such a great skill to have, or it's such great knowledge to have, even if you're not doing it professionally. So I just gave it a shot.
That's amazing, because you really enjoyed that, I remember. And you were my personal trainer. So for me, it was great. And my first Barry's class was with you, which was not easy, but at least I've tried Barry's.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is like the biggest reason I wanted to go into personal training and not teach classes necessarily. Like I still taught classes, but personal training interested me more because I gained so many different things from my weight loss and fitness journey. It wasn't just, oh, I looked better, but I was a lot more disciplined. I was a lot more confident in my decision making. I just felt that it empowered me in so many different ways that I couldn't even imagine. And I just wanted to be able to give that to someone else, to let someone else feel that, and to help them feel control that over their own health and wellness journey, and that they're not stuck, that they're able to do something about it, and it's not unrealistic, and it's not difficult, and it can be fun as well. And I think that really, like, just being able to help people realize that and feel empowered and change their life, it was just amazing.
Fabulous. What would be one message you want to give my audience in terms of your formula of the way you take care of yourself after losing so much weight, and how wonderful you look even now?
I think I think really being able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, like it's never going to be perfect. You're going to have phases where things will get a little bit out of control, like during COVID, when you're not moving that much and you're eating a bit more chocolate or having a bit more wine. But I think really what it comes down to, I think, is there has to be some sense of discipline. So I think the best way I manage to ensure I get my body moving in some way is to put it in my diary. So on my calendar, I'll, if I want to train, if I have time, like I'll try to put my schedule in my diary or book a class and make sure it's blocked in my diary, so I'm not doing anything else. So I think if I book it in the diary, and if I book things, I'll definitely go for it, and especially if I paid for it. So I think making sure you plan really well and make the time, create the time, and plan it in advance, and set the intention for the week. That's one thing that's a practice for me. And you don't always, like, it's not always 100%, but I think if you can stick to it 80%, that's good enough. And I think not feel bad about not sticking to 100%, because no one is ever 100%. And I think it's doing stuff you enjoy. So if you enjoy Pilates a lot, do Pilates. If you don't enjoy running that much, you don't have to run. It's finding things that you enjoy, because ultimately it's not it's something that you're able to sustain forever. I think when it becomes really difficult to maintain is when you're doing things that are just completely completely far from what you enjoy. I think it's incorporating things you enjoy, making it more enjoyable. Like, for example, I don't like doing the same, like I don't like following a really strict routine with my training. I know that you need to progress and you need to progress and have progressive overload to see results. But for me, I need to throw in some fun, otherwise I will not stick to it, and I know that about myself. So I'd rather do something completely different and change my mind than not train at all. So I think I think it's just finding something sustainable that you enjoy, that's gonna allow you to enjoy it for a very, very, very long time, and for over the years, really. And I think the last piece is also taking care of other aspects of your life, because like sleep, like your stress levels, like your overall, what you're putting into your body. There's so many different aspects that affect your even your fitness and your general well-being. And I think I didn't think about that a lot when I was going through my weight loss journey. I didn't think about the stress it was putting my body. I didn't think that, I had really heavy week of work, maybe I should think about adjusting my training. I didn't think about, it's that time of the month, or I'm during my cycle, that I shouldn't be training as hard, but I would still train anyway. So I think it's being more in tune with your body and adjusting your fitness and your training according to other areas of your life. And I think stress is a big one, especially if you have a pretty full-on job. It's really being able to also do something that can be more relaxing, like yoga, for example, or things that are probably going to serve your body best at that state.
Great. Yeah. So I did take away a lot, because initially when I was trying to lose weight, I used to do the no carb diet. And then over the years, when I understood with your guidance, nutrition plan change, and the best thing that works for me now is intermittent fasting. So I get to eat all the calories in that short window, because I believe that calories in versus calories out, like you always mentioned in the house. And I think I'm happy with where I am right now. I don't want to be skinny. And thanks to you for keeping this understanding that you don't have to starve, but you can have a well-balanced life and still, have a good time. I still enjoy my sweets and my wine. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think you need that to be happy and for your mental health. And that's also important. I think that whole balance, being able to balance, wanting to achieve your goals, but also having some fun so that you can sustain it. And you can continue to work towards your goals most effectively, because it's no point going really hard and then not being able to sustain that and then go completely off, right? So I think it's just balancing it in a way that you're able to do it for a long time.
What is your definition of success, and who inspires you the most?
Okay, so 2 questions. So what's my definition of success? So I think my definition of success has evolved over the years. I think earlier, success for me was always career driven. It was always about how well I'm doing in my career, how I was progressing, how much money I was making, how much impact I was having in my job. It was purely tied to work, to be honest. And I think over the last 2.5 years in particular, or even the last three or 4 years, moving into fitness and then moving to Australia, and then, having the personal changes of getting married, going through all this change, I realized, like, for me, success is being able to balance different aspects of your life. So you're never going to have perfect balance. You're going to have, at some stages, work takes a lot more priority than other areas. But I think the reality is, like, for me, success really needs to be, like, for me, it's more holistic now. It's more the balance between having a personal life, having a good family life, and having, doing really well at work. So it's the different aspects together that for me is really success. And that will continue to evolve, I think.
Yeah. And who inspires you the most?
Who inspires me the most? I think I can give a lot of different answers for this, but I think for the purpose of this, I'm going to say both of my parents in different ways. So I think I can start with my father, because it's very, very straightforward. So really, for me, I think everything in my career to date, and my motivation and my drive and my discipline, I feel like that's definitely come from what I've seen growing up around my father, and being able to he grew a really amazing business, and being around that environment and seeing the work ethic and the drive and the grit and the determination he had really definitely rubbed off. I think he set the bar very high and the expectations very high, which is why both Rahul and I can be quite harsh on ourselves and have really high expectations of ourselves. But I think it's been really positive as well in terms of, you know, driving us and really enabling us to achieve like really big things. So I think like from a career perspective, I think definitely my father is probably the biggest inspiration, and then I think on every other side it's definitely you. So I think the positivity, like everything you're doing now, and having that, like being extremely courageous, being adaptable, being positive, I think all of the other aspects outside of work, which is huge, is all you. So I think that's how, like, it's in two completely different ways.
That's nice. Thank you. You said it beautifully. So Priyanka, I let you ask me a question now. So whatever you want to ask me.
So I'm looking at the questions I've written. I have actually 2 questions, if that's okay. And I hope it doesn't throw you off because I haven't told you what they are. So what is the you love about yourself the most? And why?
I love my confidence. I love the way I can light up a room when I enter. I make friends very easily. And this I've realized over the years because I've built this in all the different parts of the continents that I've lived in. And I think that is my asset. And me being authentic, so people can really reach to my heart at the first time they meet me.
And why?
Why? Because I think because I've had the opportunity to live in so many different places, and I've had to adapt to it. I've accepted it. I've surrendered to it. And that made me a person who always wanted to be friendly and bubbly and make connections. I was put in those situations. So I adapted to that. Yeah.
Those are good answers. I like them. And the second question is, and this is probably a bit more vague, so you can interpret it the way you want to.
Yeah.
What is your happy place?
My happy place is, first of all, it's my family. I'm always happy around my family. Very positive, very secured, very loved. And being empowered as a woman. I love to do, currently I think I have found what I want to do, and what makes me really happy is what I'm doing right now. So it's developing myself and inspiring others. So I try and go out of my comfort zone to do things like this, which really, it gets me out of my comfort zone, but I'm getting comfortable in it. So I'm going to look for my next fear and overcome that. But this makes me happy because I feel people are being inspired slowly. I'm trying to make an impact, and I'm enjoying it, truly enjoying it. So that's my happy place.
That's really good.
Any other question?
Those are the 2 questions. I know they were not what you probably expected.
I didn't expect these questions, yeah, but it's. I hope you were happy with the answers.
No, I am very happy with the answers.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much. I've been wanting you to be on this chat for a very long time, and thank you for honoring me and being on this chat and making a little difference to the people who want to hear us together as mother and daughter. And I can't wait to see you. I don't know when, but I can't wait to see you.
You too.